All right. What's up, YouTube fam? It's Dark Angel's Journey, and I am Shakira. What's up? Hmm. Happy Sunday. Hope everybody's enjoying their weekends and having a good old time. I am going to get into some back testing. I'm hoping that the next few days in March will give us more continuation trade tests because I need to work on that. But anyway, let's get into it. I know no one's here yet, so let's do it. So we ended on March 6th. I'm moving on to March 9th. And so 09. And as always, we're going to check, let's do 940 or check to see if there's news or any of that stuff. Hang on, I haven't opened up my window for my news. I set an alarm so I would not forget. Whoa! Oh, do we have a gap? Oops. Sorry, guys. Let me move that out of the way. Just looking for the calendar for the most part. So let's see. March 9th. What did we have on that Monday? So basically, we just had Trump speaking. Okay, cool. No muss, no fuss there. Easy peasy. So we had a gap opening and he swept through all of the targets that I was interested in. Now, no joke, most of the time when I see these gap openings, and I think we had like 2 weeks where they just kind of ran up and decided they wanted to close the gap. So I'm going to put an orange, purple, not orange, just to note the gap opening. And then I'm going to clear all of this deliciousness they've taken because I'm no longer interested. This might be a day where I just don't get anything because they've already taken everything. All right. And there's plenty of daytime to work with here. So pre-market gap open took everything out. And then now they're just running up to close the gap. Honestly, no joke, with that very aggressive move up. This is on the 5-minute. I would like to see just a little bit of a move back down and then a very aggressive push back up. Now there's two fair value gaps in here. This one that's been holding price up, and then this other one down here with order block right next to it. Let's go to 15-minute. So again, this is, we're back testing. This is March 9th. I usually don't start trading until 9:45, so I still have like 3 more minutes. And the gap open, they took out all of the relevant lows prior to that. So now I'm waiting for some sort of we have a sweep here. Now I'm waiting to see if we get something. Because from so far the morning, the daily candle gap down, swept all of these lows, this low, and now it's pushing back up. Like you're seeing a very aggressive buying. So I'm looking to see if there's a long that I can take. My preference would be for them to sweep all of this out. Maybe even dip into this fair value gap down here just a smidge. And then a nice aggressive push back up with a nice wick. So let's see, it's 9:43. We have all of this juicy gap to play with up here. They've taken a ton of liquidity on the downside, and then they've just sort of turned around. So from an ICT perspective, you would probably consider this like a market maker model, right? We did all that dropping, and now we're turning around. So let's see what we get. So again, my preference is for them to sweep this area out here with a wick if we can get it. Because if they don't sweep it, then I don't have any confidence, unless they just keep going up. And this is the 5 minutes. So now we'll say that I've been struggling with deciding if I want to take, oh, wait, let's reset this. Let's reset the account. So we reset it every week. So let's see what we would have made that week if we took any trades. I didn't take many trades in March. So after testing this day, I'll go and check if we took any trades. In fact, let me look at my journal. Now you could also consider shorts from here. They ran up, they swept it out very nicely, big wick down, 5 minute order block, nice shift below it, but it's all about how it shifts. Now I like to see a secondary shift below that before I take an entry on the 5 minute, because that will give me a lot of confidence in the setup. So let me just double check. So let me just check, see if I took any trades on the 9th. I did not take any trades on the 9th. I suspect I was probably in the office. So some Mondays, every 2 weeks or so, there's a Monday where I need to go into the office and I cannot trade. So there you have it. So for any longs, if we're going to continue the trend this way, again, got to wait for a sweep. It's just now 9:45, so I'm just now cleared to take any trades. And as we've already checked, there's no news. So I just need a nice, tap into this fair value gap. It doesn't even have to do that. Technically, just sweep that, which it just did very shallowly. Nice. Like that. I like that a lot. So with that sweep right there, big aggressive push up, I want to see them bust through this fair value gap right here. We can use it as an inversion for an entry, but we got to wait for the candle to close. Because even though this is the reaction I'm looking for, it can look beautiful while the candle's forming and then just be like, you know what, F you, man, and go the exact opposite way. So I'm trying to decide if it's best to like fast forward, because during the week when I'm waiting for trades, it's like so slow. And I know as all traders, we all know what it's like, right? Dealing with, waiting for trades and the patience. And with the back testing, I can push forward and move things at speed so I can like see what it would do. So I know what I want to do based off of that. And just out of curiosity, I'm going to drop to the 1 minute here and see what this looks like. So that 5 minute candle is not looking super juicy, but I love the way I love the sweep. So now I'm just looking for just one juicy push up with a fair value gap. And then we'd put a stop below here and then, keep it moving. So I think we got this 5 minute candle has, let's just push it forward so we can like just get through more days. So let's push this to 9:50. Now I'm not opposed to taking a trade before 10 o'clock. Yeah, see, this is why I say like you got to wait for the candle to close because you don't know what it's going to do. So now, please tell me you catch up and you start moving again. Because sometimes when I mess with the time, let's just do the speed up thing. Sometimes when I mess with the time, it doesn't move. So now it's kind of stuck. Come on. There we go. Got a little movement on that. There we go. Okay. So probably won't do that again just because it's sometimes gets stuck. And we're using the Thinkorswim on demand feature. which is really nice because then if you're utilizing the contract, you can actually like set the orders and um actually take the trades as though, you were there that day, which is beautiful, I think. All right. So we came back down, swept it one more time. We did have the other 5 minute fair value gap down here. It's okay for them to tap that and then run up again. The overarching bias is bearish, but the fact that they gapped down, swept everything, like, I don't know if I consider shorts to be like the big thing. So let's go to the 5 minutes. I want to see how they're dipping into this guy right here. They dipped it. Because that happens a lot. Like when you have one, two fair value gaps, they might hang out here. When they decide to drop, they're gonna dip into it and then move back up. So let's see. The only annoying thing is that we did sweep up here, and maybe I'm wrong, and I should be looking at shorts. But I feel like with all of the pre-market movements, longs are probably a better vibe. All right, so we've dipped into this puppy right here. I like that. Look at that. All right, let's see if we can drop to the 1 minute and potentially get something out of this. Let's see how this forms. Now, the other thing is, like, I use TradingView to kind of estimate how many micros I need to take for a trade. So on the 1 minute, they've not created a fair value gap. There's a tiny one here along with this guy. So we're waiting to see. We need like proper confirmation, like this candle just shooting up, leaving us tons of space. But as ICT says, this could also be just immediate rebalance and then it's just going to run up. So I'm like technically seeing what I want to see. So I'm going to see what 2 micros looks like because I want to be able to, yeah, but it's not perfect though. I don't know. Maybe I'm kind of stuck on perfect. Maybe I'm stuck on perfect because what's my target? My target's like the midpoint of the gap here. And 10 o'clock's about to be here, so I might be comfortable waiting for 10 o'clock to form. This is a big bearish order block. So I want to see how this 5 minute closes, but I like what I'm seeing with the dip in here. So that's lovely. So if this pushes up, then we're looking golden. Now the other thing is if it drops, because this is the bearish order block, we've shifted nicely. If we get a nice juicy drop below it, then I'm interested in shorts to come down to maybe this area right here. But that's only if. Where's London anyway? 420, 320. Yeah, so London lows are all the way down here. But I think after all of that silliness, they're gonna probably continue up. So I don't know if that's gonna be accurate, but let's see. So I want to see if we get something, hit all this wicking, like all the wicking irritates me. But I do like the fact that they're doing this in the midpoint. I'm almost tempted so let's see if we get this next candle to give us a fair value gap. Hopefully we don't miss it. Also something I'm struggling with. I like this little break in it. So I'm going to set a buy. Set 2 micros. Oops, hold on. Forgot to put that in. I'm gonna set a buy right here. Sorry, the system did not accept your instrument you're trading. Ah, crap. Let me see. Can we do M? Okay. I don't know if it'll let me. This looks pretty thin. So it didn't let me set the order at all. Let me see if it'll let me set the order on this one. Let's see, buy. Okay, yeah. So let me set the order on this one. Might put it right here. And let's roll back Hold on. Don't tell me what's going to happen before it happens. Let's do this. I just wanted to see the fair value gap. Now, if we win or lose, I'm not going to change it just because I got a little bit of a preview just now. I just wanted to see what I needed. Hey, don't just ran right through it. Come on. Because what I wanted to do is adjust my entry so that maybe to here so that my stop could be below that. But the problem I'm having with that though is play. The problem I'm having is so this would have to be is it moving? Oh, that's the problem with M and Q. It doesn't move. Right. I can set the order, but I cannot set an entry. Man. Okay. So this is thin, but let's see. I don't know if this is going to work. We can test it out in a second here. Let's change that color to the first of the fair value gaps right there. And what? So I need to see if it's going to let me set the entry here, because that's part of the whole point. So my original, this is very thin. This contract wasn't really like being traded yet, so that's why it looks like that. So we did so this one doesn't even have the break. So then if I was using this one, I would have set my entry here with the 2 micros. Okay. Okay, so that one works to put me in the trade. I don't know where it put me in, but it's not moving. And I'm worried if I put it to the daily so I can mark out. Okay, there we go. It's moving. So if I'd set my entry, my stop would have been below here. It's very thin. So I would want for it to run up. So let's go back to the daily and mark out oh, come on. The gap doesn't, it doesn't show, what? What just happened? Hold on. Okay, it just gapped down on me. Technical difficulties with the contract styles, you guys. Like, I can only use the MNQ M21 to set entries, but like the H is the one that has the actual volume attached to it. And that won't let me set, nope, that won't let me set an order. That means since it's so thin on the M, I'm probably going to have to move let's try another day and see if see if it's not so thin. The volume on that day is not so thin. But I mean, if we're being honest, like shift, I don't like that. If it takes out this low again, I don't like that. But very thin. I'm just out of curiosity. Let me see if the 16th is thin as well. Like a week later. Because I think or later in the week maybe. Because I don't want to give up on the setups. Just because it's just because the volume is thin on the contract I have to use. So, well, I mean, it doesn't look terrible. At least on the higher time frames, it doesn't look terrible. But as I was messing about there, just testing it, I did get my hours handed to me. But on the 1 minute, I would have liked that entry, so I would have still taken the loss. So that's fine. But this is not pretty at all. See the 2 minutes. So that's what I struggle with, because this stop is not really the stop I should have had. It was this one, which means this should have been like a 1 micro trade, I think. Let me see. So that should have been 1 micro trade, so where I can put this stop right here instead. And I'm still like fighting myself with, so that let me set the order, but I'm still fighting myself with how many micros I should take for these trades. It's really rough. Anyway, so there was a gap up here, so we can like move this up I don't know if we can, I guess we shouldn't change the time frame because it'll just automatically either go to my TP or go to um my stop. So yeah, so this is where the stop should have been, not here, and that's why I should have taken the 1 micro and, not be such a weirdo about it. Still working on that. So I'm trying to get to, okay, yeah, so here's the gap right here. So I'd like to at minimum get to the base of the gap, about midpoint right there, see if we can get there. So if I took that first trade, I would have taken a loss and then I would have had to like take a single micro. If we push up, maybe I can experiment with adding another, but we got to see how this is working. We got to get out of this space. So we're basically taking the entry we should have taken with the 1 micro to test to see if if that'll work. That's the whole point of backtesting, right? Also to teach me to not fight the single micro trade versus a 2 micro trade, because I want to get more because I'm trading micros, but a single micro can still, pay decently. Look at that. Now, this is a huge like transition for me, like trading minis versus micros, and no longer seeing like $1,000 returns instead of like $100 or whatever. But this is what I was looking for. This is why I was saying I wanted the sweep. I wanted them to tap into that 5 minute fair value gap. Then I wanted to see a nice rejection from it. And then the thing I'm trying to work through now is, figuring out how to get into the entry, how many micros I should take based off of just by eyeballing it, because I'm really terrible and at eyeballing it. And what is it? TOS doesn't give you like a tool to estimate the same way that like TradingView does. And when I'm backtesting, I can't really do the TradingView because then I'll be cheating and I know exactly what happened with price. And you see what I'm saying? So it's also just good practice for me. So I want to see what they do when they come up here. It's okay for them to roll up into this fair value gap, even tap this one again. Because it's NQ, she likes to do that. But once she leaves this area, then I can like, the entries at the body here, we can move this to break even just above here and just call it a day. But I like to watch price on the 5 minute because that gives me a better idea as to where we're going. So, I can like set my stop. Again, this is the June contract M, so it looks a little thin, but that's all right. So on the 5 minute, like we're looking pretty sideways. I don't like that we failed to take this high out, so it might come down and smack me in the face. But while it's respecting this first fair value gap that's been holding price up, like I said, I liked this one for them to tap into, just a little tip and then run up. What I don't like is this push here not superseding that one. So now we just got to wait and see what happens. So my expectation at this point is for this fair value gap to not be disrespected and for price to start moving up. But this is a day where they gap opened down below. They took out a ton of bearish liquidity below us. And I'm betting that they want to go back up and fill the gap. So that's it. So when this 5 minute candle forms and pushes up, I'll move my stop to there, and then that becomes break even, and then we move on. So we're working with the assumption that I had 2 trades that I wanted to take. I went ahead and took a 2 micro trade and then got slapped in the face because my stop was not where I actually wanted it to be. And just to be clear, like based on, I'm trading a cash account, no prop firms, none of that. So I have to be very mindful of my capital. So that means that every trade that I take is risking 0.5% of my account. And on micros, that's a pretty decent sized stop. Even better if it's like a micro, because it's never even like gonna be a full 0.5%, but it does hurt my heart, no joke. It hurts my heart to lose like say $180 on a one micro trade, stop wise. That hurts my heart. I don't know if anybody's talking. The stream is higher. Yeah, so the stream is going well. It's excellent. So I assume everything's good with the chat. Nobody actually wants to say anything, and that's fine. I'm just here to backtest my thought processes. This is what I consider like a continuation trade, but this is a rough day for it because we're in like a chop zone. So once we get out of here, I expect that we'll have some proper acceleration. But I don't like that we failed. If we don't like take this high out soon, I don't know, we might not make it there. So I need to see the next like 5 minute candle do some stuff. And I think this is the point where we can start pushing things forward, right? Yeah, let's do that. So we can move on to other days and their. So there you go, like that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful right there. And this is on a micro, like this is pretty great. So at this point, I'm going to move my stop to just under here because there's no point in losing money on a micro. This would put me at $52, $61 on the day, making up for the first trade of stupidness because we know that we're supposed to take the trade and put the stop under here. We know that. So we should do that and don't be dum-dums. All right, so now we want to see if we actually get up there. Once we take this out, of course, it's an area they might want to turn around and, come back. That's totally normal. I could get stopped out for nothing and then just be in the red for the day. But let's see what we get. I'm aiming for the midpoint of the gap. So maybe we can get a little something. You know what really irks me though, is that most of the times when a decent trade shows up, I am not, and let's be clear, I am not at my charts. And I'm wondering if I'm somehow cursed or something. Do you guys feel that? Like you sit around waiting for a good trade and then you just don't get one? It's frustrating, isn't it? It's crazy. Also, I feel like trading micros, like I can kind of reach for the stars, because it's a micro and, life is like a box of awesome chocolates. I mean, why is it that when I'm backtesting and I see what I want and I have no distractions, I can get to where I need to go and life is like a box of chocolates? Like it's great. But when you're trading live, you don't get the same type of behavior. Now, this is beautiful. Now, here's something. Like, as we get closer to my TP, I'm going to start to move my stop to like just cover because why not, right? Like, I don't really want on this day, like, this is insane on one micro though, but apparently you can make that on a micro. So as it gets closer and closer, I'm going to start, these are 5 minute candles. So I'm going to start like covering on these 5 minute candles. Like this is break even down here. And you know what? No, let me shut up. Let me just either let the trade play out. Break even is good, but no joke. If I start to see some sort of big retracement back, I am going to move my stop to just below the area and call it a day. On the 1 minute, I would be, that's what I'm looking for. I would be using structure, but this seems to be just pulling up. That's good. I don't need this full pull. So I'm going to move that up a little bit just to lock in a little bit more. Fair value gap. There is nothing wrong with them deciding if they want to tap into that or that to continue back up. This guy right here is a propulsion block. So that's propelling price upwards in a nice aggressive space. So I'm hoping, let me see, have we tapped into, yeah. So we just started tapping into the volume imbalance here. So it's not weird for them to like pull back a little bit when they first touch it. It's kind of like touching a fair value gap. Technically, it's inside of a giant fair value gap. And I'm betting they want to run up into at least the midpoint of it. And that's why I'm like right around here for TP on a single micro. And this is amazing because this reminds me that one micro can absolutely pay me and I need to stop acting the fool. Because like, yeah, Friday, I didn't take any trades all of last week. Like it was just a shit show. But Friday, I had a setup and I was hemming and hawing between 3 micros and 2 micros. And 2 micros, the entry would have been at the perfect place because that's where I wanted to put it. But for 3 micros, the stop would have not been where I wanted it to be. And because of that, I chose not to, I chose the 3 micro trade and then missed out on a perfectly good setup because I was being greedy. And I'm like, you can't be greedy with micros. Just take the micros that fit the setup and put your stop where it needs to go. You saw me in the first of these trades not do that. Yeah, Bobby, what's up? Got your coffee? I got my ginger tea. So I'm just trying to drill that into my 1 micro. Look at this. 1 micro is up almost $400, you know, and I was I was over here like, nobody want a 3 micro trade. And I'm like, I was sitting there staring at it, like, put it at the bottom of the fair value gap. That's where they're gonna go. That's where they're gonna go. And what did I do? Not that. Like a dum dum. Yeah, like a dum dum. And guess what? Guess what that did? No trade for Shakira, no money for Shakira. That's what that did. So I'm going to take my time and just be super. I'm going to take this session and remind myself it's okay. 1 micro, 2 micros, you can still make money. Because look at this. Oh, hit my desk, y'all. Hit my desk. All right. So remember what I said, like a pullback when they first touch the liquidity void here, totally acceptable. We got fair value gap here, here, and here. That's why my stop is here. So all I need to do at this point is see them dip into this and bust above it. I'll move my stop right here, actually right below here. And then, I'll either take a stop out in profit or I will get my TP. I could technically even like push to see if I could get more, but I'm not going to do that. Midpoint's a good place. And this is a single micro, like, let's be clear. I like this though. They've tapped into this fair value gap right here. And so I'm waiting, but you got to wait for these candles to close. So I'm going to be patient. We're going to wait because I want to see how price moves. This is great on a single micro, and it gives me faith that I can make, decent money on 1 micro. And maybe one day I'll learn how to, I don't know, average into winners. But I'm not there yet, so. So it's 11 o'clock. I'm hoping the 1050 macro will keep pushing upwards, but that's plenty for a micro. So I'm almost tempted to put my stop here, but I'm waiting to see if they want to like take that one more time and then push up, and then I'll just move it there because that's what they do sometimes. That's why you got to spend so much time looking at the charts, watching price form. You just have to, because that's the only way for you to see how it moves and understand how it moves and start to formulate the things that work for you, So this behavior right here, I'm not super excited about, but this is also the type of thing that would make me want to move my stop up. And I mean, let's be honest, we're like $200 in profit after a stupid 2 micro thing. So this is good. I like that. So I'll put my stop there because I like that, and we're close to the TP. So I'll either make money or lose money. Now, this is what I call choking the trade. But I like that they took the high out. I can technically put it here, but I want the comfort of the fair value gap in between me and the price. So that's crazy. 400 on a single micro. That's incredible. 250. This point, I feel like, oh, it's coming close. So I'm gonna start doing that now. Let's do that. It's getting close to the TP. So at this point, I'm all about the lock. Let's lock it in. What do they say? Don't be a dick for a tick. Like that's not a really good place to put your stuff, but I feel like that gap up looks pretty good. So let's see if we can make it up there. So we have see how that forms up. Technically my stop should be here, but I've spent too much time recognizing that, they'll sometimes get real close to your target and then reverse. So whereas too close to my target for me to be willing to give back too much of this gain, which is also something I'm working on because I'm really terrible at that. But my stop really should be here. And I really, 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 but it's just because I want the $200. That's why I'm like, so this is like a greed moment right here, but I'm not willing to, no, let me stop myself. This is bad habits. This is where the stop should be. That's what you're looking for. So if you get stopped out here, you're still in profit. Life is like a box of chocolates. It's okay. Hands off. But no joke, if they push up here, I'm moving it here. I'm moving it here. But this was a very choppy space. And of course, you can expect this type of foolishness in chop zones. But in that beautiful, like, gap, just tap it a little bit and then run up. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then you can use this guy as your entry. But we're so close to my TP, I'm not even gonna sweat a stop out here versus here. That's a big move for on a single micro. So I'd still be quite happy with it. But I like that they tapped into the fair value gap here and then they moved up with bodies. So I really don't expect them to come back and take this low out. And then we're watching this on the 5 minute. I like that. We're getting close. Let's see. Let's zoom in. Do you guys consider that to be close? 460 on a single micro covering. We've covered a whole bunch on the first loss of stupidness. Bam! I'm putting my stop right there. We're moving up nicely, so lock in even more. This candle should take us out, I think. How much time we have on it? Oof, it's like a minute left on that 5 minute candle. But remember what I said? I was going to put it underneath this guy. I'm just, at this point, I'm just locking in the profits. If they want to turn around, that's their business. But I feel like, yep, just gap up. It did. It gapped up and then hooked us up. Like I said, I feel like they'll close the whole gap, but I don't need the whole gap to be happy on this day. So we're trading MNQ 21, so the June contract, and that's the only one that TOS will let me set the orders on. All right, that's pretty good. Pretty sure I was at work on this day, so I would not have been able to look at the charts. Hashtag sad face, which is the same thing for this Monday because I have to go in the office as well. All right, let's head to the 10th. Let's go on to, let's do 09. So maybe what I should do is like especially if I don't know how many micros to use. Hold on, let's auto zoom. So we're moving on to the 10th. Let's go to the daily. Let's see what we're working with. Hold on. This thing always pushes everything to the right. Or left, sorry, my bad. All right, so this is the 10th. And so areas of interest, if we're continuing up, that's a big rejection candle. Nice sweep of liquidity, big rejection candle. I'm sure everybody is looking for longs. So I'm gonna note this previous day high right here, which looks like, I hope this isn't foreshadowing, but let's do previous day high there. Show that on the right. And then I'm also going to note, duplicate that, the previous day high here as well as secondary option. And there's a lot of stuff down here, so I don't know what that is. Anyway, 4 hour. It's probably from my live trade charts. So what's that? 942. Yeah, okay. So pre-market, So this is Sunday stuff, and this is the push into the gap yesterday. That's not helpful at all. It's the 1 hour. Yeah, so this is the push. See, they fill the gap, so could have gotten the full gap fill. And then we pushed up in the PM some more. And then what is this? Asia. And then London got this nice push up and took the previous day's high out. Honestly, like for me to go long now, because they've already taken this out, and then we have these equal highs up here. Oops, let's do this. Equal highs up here they could go for. It's been very, very bullish. So you'd be thinking you'd want to see some more bullishness. But I'm finding that when they do it pre-market, it does not work out the way I want it to do during New York session. So let's see. So I'm going to note, where's London lows? This is Asia lows on the 1 hour. So let me note that. This is some sell side liquidity down here. So let's I'm gonna just put Asia next to it. Let's note some things, right? Right. And I want to burn this into my thought processes. See this P&L 309? That would have been 500 or 470 if I hadn't been too greedy on the 2 micro trade. If I just taken the 1 micro and put my stop where it needed to be, that's how I would have gotten what I needed. Now, what do we have here? We have a very shallow shift. So the 50-minute. We have a very shallow shift. I hear a Maddie coming. I hear a Maddie. She's squeaking. And I don't know what we're going to do. Guys, I apologize. My nose is a little stuffed. Let me step off camera and clear that. Allergies, you guys. Allergy season is here. It is strong and it is doing its thing. So you don't need to see me clear my nostrils. I apologize. Make sure it's not a cat I'm like running over. No. Kitty. Hey, hey, hey. No. Guys, she stole my chair. Like, she just ran around and stole my chair. Like, what? Look at this. I'm using that. She just ran over and then just, as I was trying to sit back down, she jumped over and just took it. Ugh. What? Little one, really? Why must you always steal my chair? Look at her. Who's the cutie? Ah, and she's down. Ha ha! It's mine again! Ha ha ha. That was a quick kitty break, along with a quick allergy break. All right, so we're on to the next day, March 10th. Let's check to see if there's any news. Always check for news. No news. Awesome. And on the messed up side, we had a very, very aggressive daily candle the previous days. So this day might be just a shit show of nothingness. Anyway, so there's this big fair value gap right here. So if I wanted something, if I wanted shorts, I would be looking to dig into this. Asia lows, assume this is, nope. Nope, they already took out London here, but they took out the previous day high, which is the higher time frame PDR rate I'd be interested in. So let's look at the 5 minute. So the sweep, so thin. They swept it, then a shift. It's hard. It's really hard on these lower time frames when the contract was so thin. It's hard for me to be able to see price properly. Let's go back to the 15-minute real quick here. So, it's no news. Did I not set this to 9:45? Okay, so we're gonna wait till 10 o'clock. So as always, I like to see some sort of fair value gap that we're using as like, inversion or anything. I would normally use one on the 5 minute, but this is looking so thin. Hold on. So here is one right here on the 5 minute. Again, it's thin, so I don't think I've ever had to backtest anything this thin. So if I'd been paying attention instead of saying it's so thin, look at that. Look at how thin the contract is. That's crazy. So it would almost seem like I've missed out on an opportunity here. Wolfie's sending Bob to his bed. That's hilarious. So I like this. Like we've retraced, we didn't take the lows out. Excuse me. We retraced back into 5 minute fair value gap, very aggressive, wick down. And technically a 5 minute shift has just occurred right here. Oof. And then we have this little 5 minute gap here on the 10 o'clock. I don't know. That might just run away without us. What's up, Wolfie? How's your Sunday going? I had to set an alarm to wake up today because I went to bed really late last night. Really, really late. So as always, we gotta let the candles form. I don't know if this is actually gonna form the little gappy thing, this volume imbalance here. If it does, I would be interested in a short from this area because we're inside of the 5 minute fair value gap. I would try to see if my stop can be right up here. But we got a minute to wait, so I'm gonna be patient. Wait a minute. Oops. Sorry about that. My attempt to clear my nostrils did not work and came in other ways. Don't tell anybody, that's just disgusting. Whoa. So we had a gap up. A gap up on that 5 minute candle. No joke. Let's see if there's something on the 1 minute of that. Oof. So on the 5 minute, once that closed, I would have wanted an entry here. So let's set the 1 microcell. And I wanted my stop above here. With the 1 micro, I can actually afford to do that. And oh, look, right by Asia lows. So let's see. Reasonings. We've been dropping. We didn't take Asia lows out. We didn't take, I mean, they did technically take London out, but the higher time frame, we're moving bearish. I want to go with the bearish vibe and call it a day there. And like I said, if it left a gap here, I wanted an entry in here. So I know it's kind of hard with the thin contract, but that's literally what I would have wanted to happen there. So once we'll wait for this 5 minute candle to close. And I'm just looking for Asia lows. And it's a single micro. So my entry was right in here. So let's reduce or risk to the top of that guy. It's looking real juicy. Now I want to see it blow through the top of this fair value gap like it's tissue paper because we rejected from it last time and I don't like that. So I've reduced my loss potential. This is a very aggressive candle, 5 minute candle. I'm hoping that we get some nice continuation down this way. So if we bust through here, I'm gonna move it into break even and just wait. Now, if we hesitate too long here, I'll move it into break even anyway and be like, whatever. So at this point, I gotta just let the candles flow. Excuse me. Because no matter what happens, what do I have in between me? I have this fair value gap, I have this fair value gap, and this mitigation block. So not this order block, which would be better, but I don't really like that we're rejecting from here. So like, but I also don't like how close it is. It's easy to like get me tagged out too early. And we just need to let that candle form. Because like I said, we got rejected from here, here, here. If we're really bearish, we'll dig into it. And I would have preferred if this candle dug into it, but what's it? What are you doing, Maddie? Don't come on my desk. Get out of here with your cute self. Cats, I swear. All right, so I'm looking for this candle to close this way, and maybe this was creating like an order block. And then I can move my stop to the top of that 5 minutes. And then it's just either I get my TP or I don't. Oof, look at that. Come on, man. You were looking so, this is why you gotta wait for candles to close. It was looking so juicy, right? For 2 seconds. But if this pushes up this way, I'm just gonna move it to break even. I probably should just do that right though. Okay, so now it's a free trade, but at the same time, I don't like that I had to do that. But it's the behavior I'm not super, it's so thin. Jeez, so thin. Because I need it to, let's try and look at it on the 2 minute maybe. Yeah, so this would have been my entry area right here. So this is not weird for them to tap into this another break here, but I don't want to see them like, this is like a 2 minute order block. I really, really don't want to see them push. Yeah, there we go. So we're going to get stopped out, basically break even, but that's all right. Because that's trading. And it's only 10:20, so, and it's a thin contract. But remember what I said, like the only reason why I'm moving my stop that way is because there we go. I didn't like I wanted them to bust through this like butter. I did not want to see them hesitate. So that's why I moved it. Otherwise, if we'd broken into it, then I would have felt more confidence that we're going to make it down there. And we probably still will, but why? You know? But this has supported price too many times for me to take a loss on that. All right. So that would have been the trade I would have tried to take that day. We do have a fair value gap in here on the 5 minute. So I would have taken basically break even on that, a couple bucks. And because this candle, so we had to wait for it to close. I was hoping this candle would have closed bearish. And then we would have continued down. So let's see if I made the right decision there. And let's push this to 10:30. That looks like it's trying to push up. Yep. So I feel better about the choice there because it just made sense. Like I needed them to bust through here and they just didn't. Still time for more trades. If I were to take another. This is almost this feels almost like they want to continue up, but I don't like flip-flopping with my, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't like flip-flopping with my bias, but this is definitely screaming long. What do you guys think? Wolfie Bob, would you go long after that short, after they got rejected off of that area? So maybe I'm just waiting for another short opportunity. I'm not going to force any longs. The higher time frame PRE is gone. Yeah, exactly. Rip Wolfie. Stick with the bias. Like early on in my live trading, there were moments where I was like confused, like long, short, long, short, long, short. Like if I could see both. um, as an option. It would confuse the hell out of me, and I didn't know which way to pick. And the thing is, when you can see both options, come on, camera. When you can see both options, then just don't take either. You need to have pure clarity as to where it wants to go. Now, if I'm being honest with you, look at this 15 minute. This is very, very bullish, right? And the only reason why I was interested in shorts is because it took out the higher time frame PDRA already. So I wasn't really expecting um it to want to continue going back up. But hey, what do I know? We took a short. It was semi decent. This big fair value gap that's held price up. It was my reason for working the trade the way I did, because if we can't dig back into this, then we're not going to continue down. We're just going to use it for more bullishness. But I don't like I don't like when the target's already been taken, even for longs, which means that if, let's say I were to take a long here, I wouldn't be aiming for these highs. I'd like aim for that, or like that, or some extreme. But look at that long, like look at the look at the reaction off of that fair value gap. It's like, oh, hot potato, and it's just running. Well, good for it. All right, let's dip over into the daily again, and let's change days. So I would have taken a break even on that day. No muss, no fuss. Let's nip over to the next day. All right. And so ignoring this, I would be looking at the previous day high of this guy and Asia lows there. Still bullish because of this big wick sweep. Still bullish, even though I took a short, but that had my reasons for that. 4 hours looking very sideways after this big aggressive push up, after that aggressive drop. 1 hour is also looking very sideways. Not super pumped about that. So back to this 15-minute. Let's push this over to the left here. Looks like they came again. So it looks like the 1 hour. It looks like they ran up. They didn't quite, and they took the high out again. So I was wrong. So if we'd gone long, they took the high out again. I don't even know if there's like an entry or if it was even worth it. This is the new previous day high. Let's tighten that up. And let's check to see if there's any news. So this is the 11th. So 8:30 at CPI. Okay. And that's deciding it wants to be very, very aggressive. All right. So that's looking pretty bullish so far. There's a fair value gap here on the 15-minute that's held price down. So my general desire would be to take something once it busts above here and retrace back into it to take the high out. We also have, let's drop down to the 5-minute. All right. So the 5-minute on this very thin version of this has fair value gap here, here, here. It's just riddled with fair value gaps. So if this dips into 1, 2, and then turns, then I would take a long up. And life is like a box of chocolates. And where is London? Where's London for this? So we still have, we have some juicy lows. I mean, if we were to take a short, we could take it into here, but we basically are in some kind of a weird range. And let me make myself a little smaller. Hold on. That's better. So we're in a weird range right now from this high to this low. So either scenario works. If you sweep liquidity from one portion of the range and then show me some follow through. We're on the 5 minute because the contract is thin. So let's see. I would be interested. This is an order block. If it busts above here and along from here, the body up. My preference would be if they busted up. So maybe the wick, but let's see. I always like for them, for retracements, I like for them to dip into the fair value gaps and then give me a nice wick out of it. That shows me that it's like hot potato, you know what I mean? On the other hand, if we reject from this 5 minute fair value gap that has dropped price back down to this bearish fair value gap, then I would also be open to a short because we're in a range and I have to get comfortable with trading ranges. What's up, Maddie? You just want attention, little one. Yes, you do. Feeling needy today? Where's your little girl? Hang on. Some short kitty break. Okay, it's 9:49. Are you coming up? Kitty coming up? Incoming. Hi. Hi, baby. You okay? What's up, Maddie? Who's a pretty girl? Who's my baby? Short kitty wellness break. While we wait for this price. So fair value gap 1, fair value gap 2. It's okay if they tap into 3, same way as if we had only 2 of them. Tap and push. I like that sort of setup. But no joke, if we do that, run up here and then drop, then I'll be interested in the shorts. So for me to take a long, I need to see them bust above here. And for me to take a short, I need to see them continue to respect this, tap into something and drop. For now, we're looking for longs. Hi, you okay? You guys can't hear her purring, but she is. Who's a pretty girl? Who's a good baby? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. All right, we got beautiful kitty time. It's when we're so close to 10 o'clock, I sometimes like to wait for 10 o'clock to actually, oh, girl, you need a haircut. But we won't cut her hair until till it's consistently warm. I don't want her walking around feeling cold. Ginger tea with pollen honey. Oh, guys, Maddie, your hair is like literally clogging up everything. Oh, like hair everywhere. Oh my God. And we brush her every day too. It's crazy. All right. So what's your recommendation for this? We're in a range. You know what? Let's do this. Let's see where we are in the range. So this high, that low. Now if we get into, oh, hold on. Why? Zoomed out. You leaving? Okay. Bye. They're so like, they're so random, these cats. Like, let's get rid of all this other stuff and just get the halfway point of the range. And let's zoom back in. So we dug into the 50% of the range into, oh, look at that. Beautiful, on a 50 minutes, a beautiful little gap there. Tapped into the wick of the order block here, and it looks like longs are where it's at. So let's head back over to our 5 minute. So remember what I said, right? If we bust above here with some decent alacrity, then I'd be interested in longs. But in a range, we're in the, oh, look at that. Woo! Rude. Well, it doesn't look like they're going to give us a chance to get into it. Let's look at this on the 1 minute and see how ridiculous. Like, seriously? So rude. I don't even know if it's even worth it, the distance between. Let's look at it on the 2 minute. So the other option is, if they like sweep this and then shift, that would be nice. So lots of stuff on this thin contract for them to come back into. Honestly, my general desire, we need to see this candle, how it's going to close on the 5 minute, because that'll tell me if I can take a long or a short. Because right now we're in a premium and it'd be a good place. You want to grab your shorts from up here. If you follow ICT, you want to grab your shorts from up here. So this right here is not like inspiring. There's a minute left in this candle. So we wicked up. I want to see it close like with bodies, not a wick. I mean, wick is fine, but body. So looks like it's gonna do that. Okay. So my desire would be an entry right there, and I'll do a 1 micro buy. It's not perfect. Technically, the entry should be here, but given how big the stop would need to be for this, so a 1 micro stop would need to be here. I don't even know how much that is. My preference would be the body, but if I see them close below the midpoint of this, that would not make me feel good. But let's see how this works out. So maybe we could get the body, but they haven't closed outside of this, which is not great, but let's see. Looks like I could have gotten the body. I remember what I said about this being the premium of a range. So in a range, they could just sweep and then just drop. So I don't like this at all. Nope. That's not great. Tiny fair value gap in here. So this looks like it's going to end up being like a short. Sweep, shift, short. But we're bullish because of the nature of the candles. So we're waiting. We're waiting. That's why our stop is below the order block and not squeezed. So what we want to see, that's fine. Tapping that 5 minutes is okay. What we want to see is this candle actually close bullish after tapping it, like a nice big wick. But if we don't see that, then most likely we'll probably get stopped. And I use the wick because I didn't want to see them like bust below the midpoint of this thing, but this is not what I want to see. This is coming down. So the question is, do I close the trade early or do I take a full stop out? Because all of my rules around this has been disrespected. And they're now the problem is they haven't closed a body above here. And I probably should have waited for them to do that. So that really like irks me a bit. The fact that I didn't realize that, but it's what happens when don't wimp out with my stuff. I didn't wimp out. Okay, it's sitting there. I'm gonna get stopped. I didn't see what I want. I just realized like there's no body closure and I wanted a body closure, but that's why my stop's here below the order block. I don't want to open it up too much below this low because that's way too big for a single micro. But right now I like what I'm seeing. There's no body closure for this tiny 5 minute fair value gap, but we got to bust above this guy again. And that one's been used for shorts. So that's why I was like, oh man, I didn't see them close above it. And that's probably why I might get my ass handed to me. But if this candle closes up, above that way, then I'll move my stop here and mitigate some of that. But I don't like this. That feels like it's coming down. There's also this crackdown here, but that's too far into the order block. If I'm being honest with you, it's too far into the order block. But this is all bullish. Sweep, shift, very bullish, and then now they're faking us out. And I'm about to get stepped out. If they tap, they got close. Man, for real. But you gotta take the trades, right? You gotta take the trades. I'm on the 5 minute no less, you know? I wonder how this looks on the 1 minute. Ugh, gross. It's really, really thin. See, I like that. I like the tap and then the wick, but I need to see some follow through. Okay, thanks. I said I need to see some follow through, and it gave me like this green candle. That's nice. But we're watching it on the 5 minute, which I think is a better representation. Look at that. Wiki, wiki, wiki. So they've tried once, twice, three times to go down. So I'm hoping, oof, did they just gap open lower? Oh, that's just mean. That's just mean. So they've tapped this. I would like to see some follow through that way. But we're in a range and we just got into the premium of the range. So taking the long in the premium is kind of a stupid move, if I'm being honest. Because the thing is, like, if they get below this, then I mean, I'm just cooked, period. So I'm moving my stop up a little bit. We've tapped into that. We're still no bodies, but this gap down does not bode well. So, because if they blow below the order block, I mean, come on. Now we're coming into breaker block territory. High, higher, high. If we trade through, then we have a break to these. This would be a breaker block right here. We can use it for shorts in the premium zone. And I would like to take it right here. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop myself out right there. It's gonna let that be where I get stopped out. Bam. All right, so then I gave back too much on a micro right there. And so we have a high, higher, higher. We're about to trade through it. So we have a breaker right here. So I would love for them to pop back up right here for a sell. And we'll use the top of this guy as okay. And we have an inversion on the 5 minute here. So I'm actually going to move my entry to the body of that breaker, actually, and then I'm gonna move my stop that way. That covers that. All of the breaker. This guy we've rejected, so we shouldn't even come back up here. And then we'll just aim for that guy. Assuming they want to like give us an entry. We're just gonna run away. Yeah. Oh, come on. So the long was wrong on the 5 minute. And I knew that once we started respecting the base of this. So now I want to know, technically the breaker starts at the wick. So I should put my entry at the wick of the breaker. Can't see it, hold on. High, higher, high, trade it through beautifully. Technically, this is it trading through it right here. So I'm putting my entry at the body of the breaker, and I'm putting my stop up here to cover this guy. So the breaker, and you want the entry. That's what I was saying. Like taking along in the premium of a gap is just ridiculous, honestly. And the order block is right here too. So breaker, order block. So just a little pop-up would be good. And then a drop. All right, so we're in on the breaker on a single micro. So now I want to see the breaker drop, and then we can just tumble. Be nice to tumble from here on the 5 minute. That's why I use the wick, because sometimes I'll just tap the bottom of the very beginning of the breaker and then just go, you know? So, and I don't need a ton. I don't need that base, so let's see if we can get here. Just take out, what is that? 845, 555. All right, let's see. Let's see if we can get some follow through. We got really properly rejected up here, so I'd be happy for them to just come here. We're now in a discount, so anywhere in the discount area is perfectly acceptable for TP. So at this point, I'm not taking a loss on this. That's stupid. So I'm gonna just break even my stuff right there. Come on, just keep going. Disrespect the hell out of this. This fair value gap right here. Don't do that. Don't come back up into the premium. Just keep dropping. These fair value gaps, I swear to God, man. But that's the thing I need to recognize. Like once I'm in decent profit on a single micro, there's no point in getting really. There's this guy. There's no point in taking like full losses. So my entry was at here. So if I get tagged out, that's fine. I'm not taking a full loss on a single micro anymore. And come on. Do it. So these sets of propulsion blocks here, man, they like ran price up like aggressively. And I know I'm choking it, and I know we're in. So maybe the long I should have taken was down here. That's annoying. So we'll just have to see how this shakes out. It's a risk-free trade, so just let it go. And it's not wimping out if you don't see the behavior that you're looking for too, right? Like I would have preferred for them to close below this fair value gap right here, close below these propulsion blocks, and then I'd feel real confident. But this is very aggressive, so this is too much of a retracement into the premium. I prefer for the next 5 minute candle to be more bearish, but this is looking like it wants to turn around. So this is where you take your longs. This is where you take your shorts. If you want to go short, do it in the premium. If you want to go long, do it in the discount. I'm still not great with ranges, but it's still a risk-free trade. My entry is at the breaker, so looks like I'm gonna get stopped out. For sure. Okay. That is so annoying. But that's all right. If it comes back into the breaker here, fair value gap, I just was expecting more follow through. And like I said, I preferred if they'd done something here. The annoying thing is, it probably will drop again. So 5 minute fair value gap, honestly, tapping into it and then sweeping and then dropping, I would be okay with a continuation trade still inside of the breaker from here. So this is the fair value gap on the 5 minute. Let me just note that. So I'd be open to taking another short This breaker is huge. I'd be open to taking another short in here with a very aggressive down close candle at the base. Ooh, looks like we're getting the aggressive down close candle at the base. And a sweep. So I'll take the a 1 microcell from here. I probably should have waited for it to give me like what was I looking for? Like a gap, another candle. I've been doing that a lot, like almost rushing it. It almost feels like. And we can move our stop up to about halfway to the top of that fair value gap because a single micro. Now, if I just left the first trade, it would have been fine, right? I didn't need to pay fees on more than one of these. So let's go back to the 5 minute. So I could have just stayed in the original trade and just moved my stop to the top of that and then been okay. But that's, I don't know, what do you call that? Stubbornness? I don't know. But still think the short's good. They came back into the fair value gap. That's basically what they do. And I guess I don't know why I didn't just think of that and just let it play out. But I still got back in. So there's also this area here on the 5 minute. That's a juicy entry. It's still all inside the breaker. So and I might just be giving stuff back. Let's push this forward a bit. 10:55. Because I could have been. Did I just flip flop and go from long to short and not notice? Like a dum dum? We're still waiting on this to catch up. Hang on. Okay, so we're still respecting the midpoint. So if we get a nice aggressive drop, then we're okay. Should have just left my original entry. Like, I don't know why I felt the need to. Because I always have to remember, they always like to retrace back into the order block and then drop. It's very annoying. That's the problem with, like, I think getting into the trade too early. So let's see. Let's push this forward another 5 minutes. Whoops. And let's see if I'm right or wrong. And I'll just take the loss I should have taken when I took it. But this is a great place for shorts inside of the range. And it looks like they're reaching up into this thing. I have no idea how much this is. So I'm tempted and took a worse entry here. So it's terrible. Eh. So I really didn't want them. So they're finally tapping in here. So I'm giving back all my profits for this week. Jeez. And wasn't I just bullish for this whole day? Why did I go short? Just because they did this and I didn't get what I wanted? I'm a dummy. Uh, or I'm just having a dummy moment for sure. I should have waited, but like I said, they do like to tap into these things, and this could have been the entry. It's still inside of the breaker. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Part of the reason why I switched is because it's a range, and they love, love, love. And this is kind of why I switched over, and it made the breaker, and that made a lot of sense. So I don't know. It's just being silly. But these are the emotions that you deal with when you're trading and you're watching things. Like here, we're dipping into this order block, so they might just be dipping into that to continue back up. That would hurt my heart. Like that looks nice as a 5 minute candle, and I'd love for it to remain very heavy. If we can close below here, then the short is good. I like the reaction from in here, but again, maybe I was just being ridiculous and I should have waited for the long opportunity. And see, this is why sometimes it's so hard when you're it's hard as traders, right? Because we just, why are you up here? You would have closed here. Why are you up here? What kind of entry is that? I mean, what kind of starting area is that? You should have started down here. I don't understand. Am I crazy? That should have started down here, right? Why is it up here? Still this thin ass contract, isn't it? You gapped up here. That's so rude. All right, well, I'm gonna shut up. I still think it's very bearish. I should have set my entry here because it's a beautiful place. I love these. I love these. But we need to get out of here. Might be time. So we're all here giving back all of our gains. Should have left my first order where it was until we took this low out because duh. And then I wouldn't have had to re-enter. So making those decisions, man. And taking the entry here, the first entry here, I knew that they could come up and tap that, even though I preferred if they stayed below the midpoint of this fair value gap. But we all know they love tapping into this, and these are my favorite places for entries. So why not just take the entry here? It's still inside of the breaker, and then my stop could have been higher up. Again, what is this? Shouldn't you be down here? These candles are forming weird, y'all. But let's put our TP where we originally wanted it. So I'm gonna move my stop to the top of this guy. Let's see if we can keep going down. It'd be nice if we could traverse most of the range and at least tap that guy. Let me see where oh, okay. Okay, I see you. I see you. Very heavy. I'm gonna just take it at this. So they just took that. And okay, so yeah. My first entry was perfectly fine. I should have just left it where it was, left my stop until we got through here. Sigh. All right, come on. We're back down. Let's keep going. You can do it. But I was willing to get back in. So I should have. Where did I get back in? I think right here. I should have been more interested in further up. But let's see how this closes. That was very aggressive. So we're looking heavy. So I think we've not busted into this fair value gap in a while. And let's get heavy. So let's not be too greedy, right? Let's just take whatever that is of that low and call it a day. If this busts below this heavily, I'm moving I should mitigate my stop anyway. It's a very aggressive candle, so maybe we can just keep being aggressive. Let's close a nice body. There's a fair value gap here, so I don't want to move it to break even yet in case they want to come back up and tap it and then drop. But it'd be nice if we could just stay heavy and just keep dropping here. So my stop's not exactly at the base. It's like a little bit above the base. So they went back into the premium area, into the breaker, tapped this beautiful area here, and then dropped aggressively. So I should have taken my entry here like I would normally. And those always seem like sniper entries, honestly. Weird. Okay, I need this body to close aggressively under here. Wicking doesn't help me. If we're gonna wick, I will probably have to do some mitigating. Let's look at this on the 2 minute. So that's the 5 minute close. Still respecting this thing right here. I don't like that. But we're very heavy here. Let's see if we can continue the heaviness. It's okay if they come up and tap into the fair value gap. That's why I haven't moved my stop here. But once they tap it and then start dropping, then I'll move it to break even for continuation down. If they leave it open, even better. If they get really close to my TP, I'll be like, managing. So we're watching this on the 5 minute. So an hour and a half, we've only managed to do 3 days. So I took a trade this day. I took a loss, I think. It was a short. I look at my stuff to see what actual trade I took. So I don't actually know. Let me look. I don't know if that's considered cheating. I just don't like that they didn't close the body. That's my only problem. I don't like that they didn't close the body. So that makes me uncomfortable. Fair value gap is from here to here. So I prefer if they just tap it and then drop. If we can get that, that would be amazing. So let's see what trade I actually took here. Fascinating. See? So it looks like, I'm like, why did I do that? This is very thin. Is this? Oh yeah, it looks like I took a short in here. This is why I'm like constantly second guessing. Like, should I just watch it on the 5 minute and take it from there? Should I watch? I think like if I see what I need on the 5 minute, then switch to the 1 minute for the entry. But I definitely wasn't trading the breaker when I took that loss. So I'll be taking it into account a lot more now. So I need this candle to close down. I like that we tapped into it, tap, but I can't put my stop into profit until I see a more aggressive move down. And we can close a body down here. That'd be great. So I just feel silly, honestly, like not being willing to take the loss on this one, or just being, I literally said this would be the place to be. Okay, I like that. So we're gonna do that. And now we can put our stop here, and now it's risk-free. And let's see if we can take this low out. We're in a range, so I don't necessarily need like any big push, but this is plenty on a single micro. And we're watching this on the 5 minute. And we are close. So when we get super close, I like to start managing. It looks like we might not need to. Oh, come on. We're so close. Don't play games. Give it to me. Ugh, so annoying. So we're forming something. I need this guy to be more aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Probably should have taken it at the midpoint of the wick instead. Damn it. Let's wait. Nice move down. If we see like it's trying to push back up too much, we'll mitigate. But for now, this is a good place. Let's see if we can get our TP. So, are we getting immediate rebalance or what? Nice shift. order block, tap into it. So that would be an immediate rebalance if we drop from here. Probably should have, like multiple places I could take my thing. Like, and the midpoint would have also like jived with the middle of this wick on the 5 minute. But come on. It wasn't even at the bottom. You were like so close. See, you were not even at the bottom. But now I'm going to move it to the bottom because if we bust past that, we're definitely taking that low out. Probably take this one out too. So let's let's go for the extreme then. Go for broke, y'all. Honestly, if we bust below here, I'm gonna move my stop right here. It's 11:38, and I'm hoping we stay heavy. But it's a range, so can do it at once. So silly me, like this would be my first entry was perfect. This is like perfection right here. Well, this is like the safe entry at the base of the breaker. This is perfection entry because I love when they have these volume imbalances. Those are my favorite places to get into trades. So single micro, so I should have kept the first trade and then waited for them to drop. And then again, I would be in profit comfortably and I wouldn't have taken a loss. And now I'm just trying to like recoup. So, don't limp out. Hmm. I mean, at this point, this would just be recouping what I already had if I were to like take it here. So I want to see this guy get heavy. How much time's left? 2 minutes of this foolishness. We are inside of this little guy right here. We did bust through it with alacrity, so I like that. So I'm going to move my stop to lock in a little more. Top of the order block. We've already tapped into this. I don't expect it to come back up, but in a range, you can go where it wants and then roll back. So come on, give me some expansion. Expansion. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. There we go. So we opened up our TP a little bit. I don't know. Is that being greedy? What do you guys think? Is that a bad habit that I have? Oh, that gap down. I'm moving my stop right here. So I would have been. No, they still haven't taken that low yet. Come on, don't do that. This thin contract is just ridiculous, honestly. There we go. So I'm gonna follow that very closely because it took that low out. So I'm okay with this or that. Life's like a box of chocolates. I'm cool. But I'm hoping we get some expansion on that 5 minute candle. You can do it. You can do it. So it just took where I wanted my TP out. So I'm giving away, if it comes back and taps me out, I'm giving away some profits just because I'm being greedy. But I think we at least hit there we go. Yay! That one had me thinking way too hard. Really, it did. It had me thinking way too hard. Yeah, and if it tapped that, it would take the low out. So that's fine, but that's good. That's good. So I liked seeing this inside of the range. High, higher high, traded through. We had the breaker on the 5 minute. We had the beautiful volume imbalance here. And an entry at the base of the breaker or at the top of that, the bottom of that guy is perfectly acceptable. And take to go for the lows, and that was a single micro trade. But I should have kept my first trade and I would have been fine because my stop was up here. No muss, no fuss. So I gotta remember to trust my setups. All right, let's move on to the 12th. I wish I'd traded that way, this way, but I was looking at the 1 minute and I definitely didn't trade it very well. All right, we're moving on to, let's go to the daily. We're moving on to the 12th. Delete that and delete that. And so what do we have to work with? That one's gone. Let me just delete all this stuff. I don't know what that stuff is. Oops. Oh yeah, the midpoint of that wick is a good place, area of interest. All right, I'm gonna go to the 4 hour because I think that's too much foreshadowing. Honestly, if we bust below this, the 15-minute fair value gap here, I would be into shorts, simple, to dig down into like this fair value gap here or just the bigger bearish order block. Because we failed to take the highs out. We keep dropping, so shorts make a ton of sense there. And oh, this is on the one. I'm fixing it on the 15-minute. Hold on. Just messed it up. So let's fix it on the 15, which is where we were using it. There we go. So my interest, let's see what we have. And let's check for news first. So there was news at 8:30, unemployment claims, and that's it. All right. So at 4:15 on the 15-minute, we have a high, higher high. We have it traded through. So we have a breaker here as well. And I probably should have been paying attention to this because I could have saved myself a lot of grief. So entry at the base of the breaker, stop above here would have been good. So this is 9:45. Let's go to the 5-minute because I think a lot of my trades moving forward are probably going to end up being on the 5-minute. If this creates a little gappy thing here, then I will take it. I will take it here. Stop up here because 1 micro. And then we would be reaching. Oh, I didn't. Hold on. I didn't set the TP areas here. This guy would be a nice place. The 1 hour extreme. I would be interested in that. Let's note it. See, I wish I could. I don't know why it's so hard to get the same type of, excuse me, excuse me, the same type of uh potential trades when trading live versus like back testing. I don't know why it's so hard for me. All right, so I don't know, should I wait for this to be breached or set my entry right here? How much time's left on that 5-minute candle? 1 minute. All right, let's wait a minute. So we haven't dropped below this, so I probably need to wait for that to occur. What do you guys think? We've been using this as support for quite some time. And this looks like primed. So I would need, oh, okay. All right, so let's try that out. Let's do a 1 micro sell. And let's put our stop. Okay, let's put our stop right up here. And this is with the expectation that they will drop. So we've had multiple 5-minute shifts, nice sweep and tap into this 5-minute bearish fair value gap and a nice drop, another tap into a 5-minute fair value gap, a very aggressive drop. So my entry is definitely, this is a great place for an entry as long as I can have my stop up here. So let's see if we can get out of this general vicinity. This is very far away, so I'm going to manage my stop very aggressively, I think. So with 1 micro, I can really like Let's see if we can escape, if we can reach escape velocity. And then I'll leave my TP there. I don't know where that is. Let's see if we can get up out of here. This is like I think, not 70 points or some kind of amount of points. This is pretty far, so I don't know if we drop that aggressively there, but I would love, love, love. So I'm gonna move my stop to this high right here. Feels good. Let's see if we can't continue dropping that way. And I'd be okay with taking that, given that this is an area of interest that I have. So let's see if we can just get that. So we're getting real close. So I will move my stop into profit from that entry of juiciness. And that looks pretty heavy. So let's see if we get it. That's so close. Come on. Now, if I could just trade, if I could just trade like this all the time, I would be so happy. Like backtesting this stuff is easier for me to like wrap my mind around this stuff, but I don't know, sometimes during the day I'm so distracted and meetings and I'm trying to also figure stuff out. Like I don't get the same level of clarity as I get when I'm trying to like as when I'm backtesting here because I have nothing else to do. This is my whole focus. It's really hard to try and trade 1 minute. This is about to be 10 o'clock. It's really hard to try and trade while working full time. It really is. I can't even lie. The distraction is insane. So we're up 200 bucks on a single micro, which is incredible. And we are at break even after that very sniper entry. I love those. I would like to see them stay below here and not push back up. There's a fair value gap up here, and that might force me to move my stop up so I don't choke the trade. But I'd like to see this just drop. Ugh. Am I doing the same thing I did in the other trade? Oh, come on. Okay, let's put our stop back up here. See how we behave in here. And then let's see if we can't get out of here. With that being the case, I think we can reach for a little more. Let's go for, I don't know. We'll have to look at like a higher time frame for a different, because my only issue is that they haven't escaped this bullish fair value gap, and I'm banking on them turning it into an inversion to drop. So let's go to the 1 hour real quick so I can like, oh, perfect. It's right inside of this little gap here. That's a good place to take profit inside of this fair value gap. But we need them not to stay inside of this guy. It has to get up out of there. Let's go back to 5 minute. And this is a good place. So I don't want to show. I would have kept it there if this had closed. If this candle had closed more bearish, then I didn't think it would come back up. But we're gonna have to just either beautiful entry. Maybe if I was only aiming for the base of this, but let's see. We can get below here, then I can move my stop to the top of this guy. That makes it a new order block, and then we can like start writing things down. Okay. So from that entry, a single micro, we're still doing really well. If we take this low out, then I can move my stop back into a little bit below break even to cover fees and keep it moving. So let's see. Let's move time forward 2 minutes. See what we get. It's pretty heavy, so I'd like. So this would be stupidly nerve-wracking, and I'd be thinking about they made a little fair value gap here, and I really want you to close below here. But what I want doesn't matter, right? Like it's what the market's gonna do. Uh, and let's see, is it still thin? It's getting better. It's very thin under here. But my stop is very far away, so we have a lot. So we'd have to like really push. Like I said, it's not weird for them to want to come back into the fair value gap, into the order block and drop, but it is annoying though. That's the problem with this, especially when it's been holding. You need them to break below it and break below it with some alacrity. So I think we're going to do it. I just have to be patient and wait. Um, it's like a minute left in that 5 minute candle almost, so I'm just gonna let it play out. Just watch it like I would normally watch it. Entry's right here, so if we continue dropping, I'll move my stop here because there's no point in taking a loss if they're gonna pop back up, you know. But we do have this. And the other reason why I move my stop back up here is above the midpoint of this fair value gap, and we don't want to see them bust above that. The, you know, so my stop's in a premium. I'm okay to see them tap into this one more time and drop. That's the problem with getting in like super early. They'll come back up again and, you know, tap you and then drop. Very annoying. Okay, let's see if we can have some follow through now. So we take this low out, then I can move my stop to here. They've made a small 5 minute fair value gap. I want them to disrespect the hell out of it and drop below this puppy. I haven't even tapped it. This one's relatively simple because they rolled up and they've just been shifting on the 5 minute over and over again. That's why I was like, well, I'm gonna take shorts. Maybe this is the day where they like get out of this 15 minute fair value gap. Beautiful. Let's go. Let's continue. Don't. A little hesitation, I guess, is expected. The base of this is a very aggressive 5 minute candle that's about to close. I think I'm in a decent enough place to put my stop in to break even at the top of that, just above that guy. Now, and now it's risk free. And let's see if we can't just keep going. Because that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see a nice aggressive move back down. And let's hope they want to drop into that little volume imbalance. They love those things. If they go to them like moth to flames. So take this low out. They're forming another one here. I prefer if they moved up and then close it in, but that's fine. We are in a good place, I think. That way we don't have the moth to a flame thing if they close it. But we need escape velocity. Come on, just drop. Give a sister a break for a change. And you know what? Give a sister a break for a change when she's trading live. Just remember, one micro can net you good stuff. And don't worry about it. Would have made a nice little trade on Friday on 2 micros. My stop would have been where I wanted it to be. Life would be like a box of chocolates. It's a whole new world out here. You think it's going up? Wolfie? Why? You just gonna mess with me? Okay, so we formed, no joke, if I wasn't already in this trade, I would take it right here and put my stop here. So it's very bearish to me. You're just trying to fade me, Wolfie, aren't you? It's fine, you can fade. It's a risk-free trade for the day. So either we get to where I need it to go or, you know, we don't. I don't like the hesitation. Well, I sort of expect the hesitation here, but I'd much prefer if we got some nice, juicy, clean drops from here. My TP's in a good place. I think that, if they leave this area, they'll probably like actually properly move. And if we like take this low out, I'd be interested in moving my stop to about here. Lock in a little more as we head down, because they could always come back up and tap the base again and then drop. Again, I have to lament the fact that I have to deal with work and other stuff during the day when I'm trying to trade. It's very distracting. And the clarity of thought that I have in these moments, I can't have then. All right, this low's taken. Looking good. We've tapped, we tapped, like I said, if I wasn't already in this trade, I would have taken this at the base here with the stop above here. So we're still looking real good. I'd like to see a continuation. Then I'm going to like really just, again, on a single micro, this is incredible. Like $300 on a micro, that's ridiculous. So we're going to lock in some more right here. We'll lock in on that 5-minute candle. That should still cover us for this wick. And if they want to come back up and tap that, my preference is that they don't. So if we're dropping nicely, we're creating a fair value gap here. It'd be nice if we could just give me a 1-2 candle expansion. Can we do that? Can we get a 2 candle expansion? Just, that would be nice. But that's crazy this is more than enough on 2 micros, but I'm trying to trade structure and areas where TP might be likely. So they can absolutely do 1, 2, 3 candle expansions. They can absolutely reach here. They can absolutely do that. Forming a fair value gap here. I'm starting to feel the itch to lock in more. So like right around here is about $300 on a micro. Got a little expansion. And sometimes you just gotta look to the left. Like, have we hit an area where price has stalled before? How's the 15-minute candle looking? Like, for real. Like, am I being silly and giving back? Let's look at the 1 hour. I mean, it looks pretty great. There's a nice 1 hour low here. I don't even have to wait for that guy. But the 1 hour is looking very inviting. So I'm gonna let it run. And there's still, so it had its manipulation and the power of 3 on the 1 hour candles, like a accumulation, manipulation, and then drop. So I'm waiting to see it continue its expansion down. So you have to look at the higher time frames and see, what makes sense. And like I said, like once we start getting real close to the TP, I'm starting to lock stuff in. I liked looking at the 1 hour, because if I, let's say, put my stop here, then I like that they tapped it here on the 5-minute, on this next 5-minute candle. They tapped into the fair value gap they've created. So my general expectation is now they'll continue down. but they are at an order block and I don't really feel the need to give back a ton. Whoops. So I'm looking for once the body of this 5 minute candle starts pushing further down, I'm gonna send. Oh, it's done. Okay. Oof. I don't know. What do you consider that? Exhaustion? Because we've tapped here. I like that. So once this starts pushing down, I'm gonna move my stop right here and everything is fine. Just let that play out because I think we get the TP. I think we get that. So we're a minute into this 5 minute candle. I like that tapped into the 5 minute fair value gap. I'm gonna lock in the top of that, just lock in a little more. Once it takes that low out right there, then or honestly, even if it doesn't, I'm gonna lock in. But I prefer to see it take that out, lock that in. So that's about $300 right there. I'm letting we're green regardless. I'm letting the fair value gap be kind of like my buffer here. I don't like, I wanted this candle to be more aggressive. So still, ugh, I don't like the turnaround on that one. I prefer, well, price will do what it wants to do. Well, I'm tempted to, based on where my entry is, I'm tempted to just to do that and put it back to where it was. Because I did say it's not weird for them to come back and tap, but it will hurt my heart to give back so much profit though, if it does stop me out up here. But entry was here, so I need to see some aggressive continuation that way. I didn't like oh, what the hell? What was that? Oh, come on. Oh. Oh no, they took me out with alacrity, y'all. Still a win, but $100 versus the 300 down here, that hurts my heart. I feel like I should have managed that better. I bet you anything it drops after that. Bullshit. It ran right back up to the order. Oh my God. Seriously? Look at this rejection. Are we serious? Let's see. Just out of curiosity, what the flying F? Look at that. This is why NQ, man, she hurts my heart. Look at this. Seriously? I should just take the 300 and been okay. That's all right. Let's see. Does it actually drop? Doesn't look like it wants to now. Oh man, like wow. Okay. Oh, come on, man. I should have just taken that low. Thought about it. I should have taken that low, but I was like, they like to tap into that. Why wouldn't they just like dig into it? But I bet they do. Probably on this 1 hour candle. Oh man, that's just rude. Anyway, moving on. Friday. So I'd be up with that trade management. I'd be up 581 on the week, which is incredible. So let's go to 940. Look at that. Would have gotten my TP at 7 p.m. Jeez. Yeah. Yeah. Should have taken the low. All right, whatever. So, oops. 15 minutes is the next day. Let me fix my fair value gap that we're using. I would like this to remain as an inversion fair value gap. So Let's check for news on the Friday, and for all Fridays, let's note that if you're green on the week, there is no reason to take trades on Friday. If you see something that's A plus and you want to take it, knock yourself out. Same thing for losses. You really just don't have to. So there's news up until 10 o'clock. So I'm going to push this to 10 o'clock because I wouldn't be taking anything until after 10 o'clock. All right, where is London? So this is London low right here. And that means that London high has been taken out along with some liquidity here. We're back into this. For shorts, I need it to stay below the midpoint of this 15-minute fair value gap and then drop. And then I could probably try again for an entry from the low down to take London out. So that's after all the news. So that's that's 9:30. The 8:30 news didn't really do anything. It's on the 15. Let's look at the 5. So that's an aggressive candle up, but that's fine. That's sweeping all of this liquidity to the left here. That's beautiful. So let's continue on the 5-minute. Swept all that. You know what's annoying about this is that the shift is down here, but let's see. Get some water in, my tea's done. So far we are respecting the midpoint of this. I honestly, let's look at the 1-hour candle too, because, okay, so there's this one. Yeah, so yeah, I'd be interested in that low. We can hit escape velocity from this fair value gap again. I'd be interested in a short from here, or at least from the inversion right here. So let's see what we get. Oh man, water is life, y'all. Water is life. No, we didn't look at the daily on this one, so let's make sure and do that because it's always good. So we have failed to go higher even with this aggressive move up, so I would be looking for shorts. But we're also in a very, very choppy area, so a little foreshadowing there. Don't like that, but let's see. So this is, let's see if it's still thin on the 1-minute. Yeah, still thin. Next week will probably be better. So still would be the shift down here on the 1-minute, even though we are slowly rolling down. See if there's something juicy on the 2-minute. Okay. So we'll stick to the 5-minute for this. We've come back up. We're banking on this fair value gap remaining an inversion fair value gap. We're looking for London lows right down here. So I need this to be escaped. And I would be interested in an entry right here at the inversion. We've closed below it. I don't know. Would that be preemptive? What do you guys think? I like that. Like a single micro. What? Hold on. Flatten. That's the wrong direction. What the hell? Did I do a buy by accident? Sorry, guys. That way. Right. And then we'd pop or stop above that guy. Sorry. This is where it should have been. I think I clicked the wrong button. Anyway, so we're looking for these lows. And we'll take the top of this, a portion of this guy, and oh, that annoys me. I feel like I should put that back to where it was so I can be in the trade when I wanted to be in the trade. But let's see how this 5 minute. So this closed. Yeah, so let's do that just to make sure we get into the trade when we want it to be in the trade without clicking the wrong button, because let's go back. There we go. So I wanted an entry right here. So I thought I would have sworn I clicked. Okay. It's in, but it hasn't gone away. Or is this the loss that it's recognizing? What? I don't understand. I went back in time, and that is probably not a good plan. Because it thinks I'm still in the trade. So let's go forward. What? Okay, hold on. Cancel that. It's not letting. You know what? I apologize. I screwed myself there. So I need to put. I don't know. Let's see. Let's put that back. I screwed myself there. It somehow thinks I'm still in a trade. The previous trade. So let's put a. I think it was buy. Do I need to sell to get out of this foolishness right here? All right, let's let that work. Honestly, I don't know what to do. All right, let's remember we're at like 500 and let's pause the price action for a second and because it won't let me flatten. So let me reset the account and let's put it back to where we wanted the entry. In the first blasted place, let's go back in time and let's set the sell of 1 micro there and put our stop where we wanted it. And let's run that. Because I don't know what happened. Sometimes the platform's a little weird. So let's see if it picks. So we were at 500 or something. So that should kick us in. Hello, Sasha. What the heck? It ignored us, y'all. Why did it ignore us? Whatever. Let's put that there and let's see. It put me into a did you guys see me grab a by some weirdness? I would have sworn not, but what do I know? And that did not pick me up this time. What the hell? Let's try that again. Let's go 09 and 45 seconds instead. 10:10. Okay. And then the next candle should pick it up. Come on, do it. Oh, am I just too... How did it pick me up the last time? This is annoying. I mean, it was quick to pick me up the other time. Okay. All right, whatever. Let's just get in there. Stops in the same place. All right. So we were up about 524. I did take a buy. Oh, see, that's why you gotta be careful, man. Damn. I wanted to sell. All right, so technically the 5 minute shift is down here, but let's see if I like the fact that they were respecting the midpoint. So this is more aggressive than I usually do, and I'm finding that I need to be more aggressive. Yes, it absolutely. It's happened to me. It's happened to me trading too. I just clicked the wrong button. Just click the wrong button, and voila, I'm in the wrong freaking trade. Hmm. So you got to be quick to remove that stuff. Let's see if we can get London lows on a micro. Now, what would be a good is if I could figure out how to, like, can you modify these orders? No, that's the right thing. What if we can modify the orders to add like an extra, um, what? Sasha, stop playing with chords. They're not for playing. You silly, silly girl. These cats, I swear to God. She loves to like, it absolutely happens in real life. I'm like, how did I swear. Because I've done it a few times. Like, I've done it a few times where I've like done the stupid thing and I've taken the wrong, set the wrong order, and you have to quickly close it. The problem with the on-demand feature is you can't flatten. Like live, you can just flatten it and be done. But with the on-demand, you can't do it. So that means that that's why I had to reset because I didn't think it would actually just put me back in the trade if I put the time back, but it did. Isn't that crazy? No, I like this. I like this a lot. So maybe we can practice adding two winners, you know? Um, honestly, like if that 5 minute comes back and taps this, I would not mind. Yeah, I would not mind adding another um to this. Like, but I want to see it come up and then drop. So looks like if I just waited, might have gotten the inversion sell anyway. So let's see. Can we sell one more? Let's, okay, we added one more. I've never done that before. Can I modify my stop? So let's delete that for a second. Can I modify my stop? Can I edit it? I've never tried to do this. This is great. Cancel, copy. I've never tried to modify a stop before. So let's see if we can modify the stop. Can we see this? Because what would be nice is if, and I don't know if this is like the best way to do that, but maybe I need to put that was a sell, so I would need to put a buy. Really? These girls, man. So maybe what I would need to do is put another buy, like right here. Like another buy, and that would be the second stop. Wait, what? What just happened? Uh, okay, nothing's open now. I think I screwed. It doesn't work the way I want. It just, wait, what? What is happening? What is happening? I don't know what's happening. Where are we? What? See, I can't flatten it. Look, I can't flatten it. Okay. So the only thing I can do right now is reset the account again. That's the only annoying thing about TOS. Did I have one short? I couldn't tell. Yeah, I just reset it because I couldn't figure out how to do it right. All right, let's go back and let's sell our one micro here and put our stop back there because obviously I'm out of control and I don't know how to do any of this. So let's put that right there. And let's see how this trade actually would play out. So that's one of my issues with TOS. Like, I think if I want to use like multiple, um, contracts, I have to actually already have set the limit order to do that. And then I would have to set up brackets to sell a contract in a specific area. You know what would be a good test for this? Let's do 2 micros. Let's sell 2 micros here, right? And let's put the stop where we want it, right? Let's sell 2 micros here. And then I want to know if I put a buy, like let's say like one right here, if I buy 1 micro right here, would that adjust the stop loss? What? No. What? Play that. Sorry. If I do a single buy here to sell 1 contract, right, would that adjust the stop loss? Now, I don't know if this trade is going to play out, but we're testing it, right? Because I want to know if this is going to adjust that automatically or if it's, and by the way, this is not a great trade because the 5-minute shift is down here, but I liked this. I don't like that it didn't close below here though, but let's see. We are inside of a bigger 15-minute fair value gap, but we're also noting this guy as an inversion, which is why I wanted the entry there. So if we take a loss there, that's fine. Right now, I'm into testing the TOS, what I can do with the platform. So 2 micros, if I set a buy here onto these equal lows on the 5-minute, that will fund the account. And then I want to know, then I can let one micro run as a runner. And I think I would have to get rid of that and make a limit buy. So let's say this 1 hour extreme. And then we'd have to switch that to a limit buy. Because I haven't done that yet. Like, take partials. And I'm realizing I'm like limiting myself by not taking some partials, but I really, 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 really just like getting my entry. But it's also, I think, a good thing to take some off the table, and then I don't feel bad. Like, let's say, like that 1 micro trade that was up 300. Like, if it was a 2 micro trade, then I could have taken like one off at the 300, and that would have been. Well, it would have been at 600. So then that would have like funded it at 300, and then I would have set my stop, and then I would have been stopped out in profit. Not as much, but still. And then the account would be up 300 on a 2 micro trade, assuming that the stop could be where I needed it to be. Did I take a trade on this day? Let me check. This is what? The 13th? I took a C level. Actually, I took 2 trades. I took one C level short, and then I took a winning short for $100. Let me see what those trades look like. I don't know if it's this. Nice. Yeah. So the trade I took was further down because I was waiting for the 5-minute, and I'm realizing with 1 micro, I can absolutely be a little bit more aggressive than I've been. Especially when I'm expecting a certain behavior. And I removed the 15-minute fair value gap, but it is in there. So let's test this out, see if this is how this works. And no joke, sometimes I get like super confused. Like, if I'm taking a micro, the sell, so I got to put a buy order here to, clear that out. And then this is why I like inversions. Like, it's not the order blocks, all of this, but still, So now I can like mitigate my risk. So we've taken this, I really prefer this one, but looks like we're about to. So I'm gonna mitigate my risk anyway. 2 micros, $300. Let's see if we can get 1 micro out of there here. And then I assume that I don't know if the stop is going to, I'd have to put another buy limit or something to create a stop because I can't modify this. Cancel. You can create a duplicate, you can create an opposite, but you can't modify it, which I find to be really, really, really not great. This is pretty great so that one micro, if it gets down there, will do a lot of good for us. Taking this low out. London lows is all the way down here. But since we have multiple micros, we can, and that's why like because of that 15-minute inversion fair value gap is why don't use stops and TP, use limit orders for that. Well, so I think I would have to create some sort of brackets to make to your yeah. So I think in TOS it's called like a bracket or something. So we're up $400. We're not taking a loss on this. So let's move our stuff into profit. Looks like we might get those equal lows in a sec. Let's move that up a smidge, right at the bottom of the equal lows right there. Oof, 2 micros are paying. I'm locking stuff in right there. Um, 574 and 2 micros, I'd be happy to take that, I think. Order block, where my stop is a terrible spot. A minute and a half left in this 5-minute candle. Did we brush up into, we did, hold on. We brushed into a fair value gap that's held price down. So I would like to see us close below this guy with alacrity. Beautiful. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Yeah, maybe we should figure out how to set up the brackets for that. Why did you say, I don't understand. Like, did you just gap up here? Shouldn't you be starting here? Come on. What the heck, man? So I think we're getting a first-hand look into how thin markets behave. So I would love this to close. I don't know. I feel like I should be locking in more. What do you think? $500 on 2 micros is actually pretty great. If this closes below here, I'm putting my stop right here. I don't care about the fair value gap above there. But I do want to test out this thing. And then after this, we can like look at the brackets and test a bracket, create one out and test a bracket out. New 5-minute candles looking nice and aggressive. Because I feel like I will have to the way my current templates work, I'll have to delete this stop and then do another buy up here to create a new stop. The other thing is you could always come in here as well and add it. But my problem is like with the on-demand feature, it doesn't work. You see how it just kind of clumps everything this way? Ooh, 600. All right, let's lock in a little more. That's not an ideal place that is in between the fair value gap there, but I do like that. We did take that low out with that candle. Got 30 seconds left on it. That's crazy. Like I can only backtest like a week in 3 hours. How crazy is that? Like that. All right. We have now used this 5-minute candle, a nice little tap. Continue down. I will be happy to move my stop right here above that 5-minute candle. So this will be our first partial. That would take $300 off of the trade, I think. Looks like. And then we just leave the next one as a runner. All right, so this does not limit. So I would have to remove that and set a single buy right there. And then since it's in a cell, I'd have to remove that and select a single buy up here. Does that turn it into a stop? No, why does it keep doing that? I'm just gonna close it because it's messed me up a bit. Let's take that limit off. Okay. And the buy is in there. Come on. Okay, I need to do a single sell. Oh my God. Oh my God. Does that close everything? Does that close? Yes. Okay. There we go. Oh, seriously? That was annoying. So I can't be doing that while live trading, but that would be $800 on 2 micros on this setup. Why? Because the 15-minute fair value gap that we'd been using, where is it? So I know we're going to go lower, but I'm only messing with that because yeah, here we go. So let's move this over and just remember why we got into that. So I need to work on my brackets. So the reason why we cared about that setup and we took it a little bit more aggressively is because we were respecting the 15-minute fair value gap that had been using price. We finally, for bullish means, and we finally busted through it the day before, coming back up into it. We just wanted to see, and we could, like I said, I think we'll get the rest. We would have gotten the rest of this, but trying to mess around with the brackets screwed that up. But so I think we would have made like $1,000 on two micros, like incredible, right? But the annoying thing is like in live trading, like I can actually like move my orders and set stops. Like on this side, let's see, I could do a sell stop. On this side, I can do a buy, you know? But in the TOS section, it doesn't really give us the opportunity to do that. So let's take a look at the brackets. I've never actually created a bracket. So let's take a look at like say let's do with OCO bracket. Like what? So this is a sell buy. And it's pretty much the same. And there's a first trigger. So maybe we can do an advanced bracket. Can we? What's up? I can't change that. Okay. Let's delete that one. Let's see. Let's see. Can we create a cell? So with stop limit. What is with stop limit? Oh, just the stop, and then you just let it run without a TP. Okay, that's what that one is. And then a cell. Let's try the bracket. So if we sell, and then we gotta specify. So, this is the sell and the buyback of the stop. So limit stop. Let's switch this over to um over to ticks. So if we did that and then we switch this over to ticks as well, and then we want to make like 300 or something. And let's save that bracket. And let's just save that bracket. And then let's delete that. And then let's re-enable that. And we have on the 5-minute, we have this fair value gap, this one. Let's see about testing it out. Oh God, that stop is insane. Okay, we gotta fix that. Wait, let's pause this for a second. Did you see that? Let's, did you see that? Where that would have gone with that bracket? So that's 300 ticks, and the stop was 100. Oh, did I put it in the wrong place? I bet I did. I bet I put it in the wrong place. Let's fix that. So that's the limit. Oh, yeah, I put it in the wrong place. The stop is 180. This is why you gotta check, right? And then 300. All right, let's save that. Does that. Let's save it. Yes, I want to replace that. Okay, let's check that again. So if we do this, oh, hold on. Let me do that. Okay, so let's do this and let's check that. Okay, and still one limit order. That's 180. That seems pretty far. Ticks? I don't know, might be right. Let's see on a single micro. Because I don't see what the difference is between a bracket and the limit orders, because it feels like the limit orders are the same. So just first of all, I would just be like, stop here, but, and right here. So I would be interested in seeing them come back to this fair value gap and then drop. On the 1 minute, it would be nice because come back to there and then that seems really far away for a single micro. Probably have to check the OCO order again because my other ones are 180 ticks as well. Hold on, I want the bottom of that fair value gap right there. Now, if I were to watch this on the 1 minute, I'm on the 1 minute now, I wanted to see it pop in here, respect it, and then drop, and then that'd be an entry. On the 5 minute, we have this fair value gap and that one, but I'm more interested in this fair value gap here. What's up, Jordy? How's it going? Been a minute. Been a minute. How is your weekend going? That guy, Jordy. Love it. I'm testing out the different brackets in TradingView, not TradingView, in Thinkorswim. I've never tried to create an OCO bracket. I usually just use the limit orders. So I'm trying to see what the difference is. And I was really interested in if I could create um, multiple areas to sell to like take profits. But what I'm finding so far is that when I create the bracket, I like, let's say I have a stop for 2 micros and I take an entry and I take a little off, the limit order on the bottom doesn't change. So and my stop doesn't change like automatically, which is kind of annoying, right? I think that's pretty annoying. So let's see with this continuation trade. Now I'm okay with them tapping into the fair value gap up here, but my preference would be if they drop from here because they use this 5 minute for very bullish movements. So once let's see, it's a smaller fair value gap, so I don't know, we'll see. But this is the entry with the OCO bracket. So from what I'm seeing here, it's literally the same thing as the limit order. So I don't know why we're calling it different things. Means if your price goes to your limit before you get an entry, it should cancel the entire bracket. Oh, one cancels the other. Not that bad. Chilling with charging usually. I've been all right. Just chilling. I can't wait for proper warm weather though. The weather has been bipolar here. Wait a second, markets. No, 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 no. So Thinkorswim, it has a feature called On Demand where I can backtest days, like I'm trading them normally. So this is actually March 13th, that I'm backtesting. So I've just finished the week ending in March 13th. And it's really great because I can trade it the way I would normally trade it during the week because I can trade based off price movement, which is awesome, which is better than backtesting in TradingView using the replay button, I think. Anyway, let's push this forward because I guess there's no rush because I usually close these at What time is it? Oh, right. That's pretty cool. It replays the actual. Yes, it does. When I discovered that, I was like, I can technically backtest slash forward test, which is so cool, right? I was like, yeah. Let me leave that alone, the time. So this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see it come in here, respect the midpoint of this, tap the base and drop. So let's move price forward a bit. So yeah, I've stopped using Trading View for backtesting because this feature exists, and I use Thinkorswim for trading live anyway. So I like that. Once we close below here, I will move my stop into profit. I'm just trying to, I gotta check to see um what my other limit orders look like. So like the one micro sell, yeah, it's 180 STP. Okay. Yeah. Let's delete that. So let me look at the OCO. So that is exactly right. I will delete this because I don't necessarily need. Yeah, it's 180. It's right. Okay. Um, one ansel, one order, one cancels the other. So if your price goes to your limit before you get an entry, to cancel the entire bracket. I mean, why wouldn't I just cancel it myself? Would be the question. Hmm. So again, we're in a situation where I want to test out adding an extra. So like moving my stop to here. Oh, so I want to again test out adding an extra contract. So I don't know, maybe let's drop to the 1 minute. Let's see. It's still pretty thin though. If you can sit and watch the chart all day. That's true. That's true. But I mean, don't we always sit and watch the charts anyway? So this is a pretty cheap trade if I get stopped out here, but I just wanted to check the bracket. And if I'm being honest with you, if I get stopped out with my regular limit orders, it also cancels the other side of it too. So that's what I'm saying. Like, what's the difference? So let's go ahead and test. I'm gonna do another sell here. So I'm in two contracts, and we're gonna do a limit order here. We're gonna do a buy. Gotta remember a buy limit order. The annoying thing here is the stop doesn't increase. It's a word. I'm guessing it's a paid thing, but I mean, if you got it, may as well take advantage. That'd be nice. So right now, I would put, so I just did a sell, so I'd have to do a buy limit order to cancel the second sell. Because I was hoping the brackets would let me do that, but they don't let me modify. I can copy it. What does copying do? Can I paste it? I don't understand. So I copied, and then what? Create duplicate order. Okay. I don't know. Because I'm trying to figure out how to add a second stop if I start with one micro, and I thought the brackets would do the thing. So let's see what a create duplicate order does for me. Let's just, how do I get this to go away? Go away. Right. So let's create duplicate order. What does analyze trade do? Oh, I've never tried to do this before. This is new. Let's see what TOS has for us for analyzing this trade. I gotta enter a symbol. Rude. What does analyze trade do? Nothing? Okay, it's not telling me anything. Whatever. What just happened? Let's go back to the 1 minute. Whoops. Hold on, guys. Let me get us back to where we were. There we go. Okay. Whoopsie. So I'm just trying to think like, how do I add a second stop if I add, I guess I just have to do a cell order based off of the way this thing works. It's like, would I just do so? No, it's not a cell. I did and added an extra contract with a cell, averaging it into a winner, which is good. Also, something I've never done before. So we're testing that. We won't be doing it live until, we've become profitable just doing what we normally do. But it's good practice. So like if I want to get up out of this extra cell, I would have to put a buy here. On-demand virtual order. Yes. No. What the hell? I picked a spot. What the heck is going on? Hold on. Let me put a sell in because it's doing that stupidness again. Oh, now we want to put a sell limit. Like I put the buy in and then you don't. I don't understand. Okay, all right. Let me put a sell right here. What? I'm trying to negate. No, no, not that. Okay, I don't understand. I am honestly lost at this point. Because I put a buy in. I was trying to put a buy up here to create another stop. Because normally I would like to put the stop. I would be able to put the stop in here. But yeah, I'm like, why is it being so annoying? Like, why? Uh, okay. I don't understand, but I don't understand where the order went. How many contracts do I have open now? Four. So I'm short one contract right now. Oh, it took away it took away my second. Right. So let's take that. Let's remove that. So we're back to just having the one contract and my extra buy in just went away because I sold one and then I bought one. Damn, trying to stay on top of it like this is annoying. I don't know if I'll be doing this. I don't know if I'll be doing this a lot or trying to modify this a lot. I don't like that. That was confusing as hell. And I've been using this platform for 2 years, 3 years, two and a half now, two and a quarter, whatever. Because I wanted to just add a second contract here and then take off, fund it some more for them to run down to here. But whatever. I, that confused the hell out of me. Where am I? Also, why is the trade versus the charge section so different? I mean, for real. Why? Why is it so different? Can you take the low out, please? That was confusing. Also, why can't I ever see the line where I set my entry? Oh, so my entry is right here. So I'm about to be like this. So now we break even on the single contract. So we all good. My next question becomes, why can't I see my entry line? So let's go into the settings. What is crosshairs positions? Let's see. Not what I want. Okay. Let's take that off. And then position, do not show. Show for underlying. What does that mean? Let's do that. Huh? What is that? What is this? Underlying what? Because my entry was here. What is this? Okay, I don't know what that means. Let's take that off. Let's go to the future section. Uh, why can't I see the entry? I just want to see where my entry was. You know what I mean? I don't know why that's hard. It says show orders. So why can't I see my just like you do in TradingView? Like why can't I see that? I find that to be annoying. It's in positions. Positions. Where do you see positions? Am I crazy? Because these are just, what is underlying only? We're not trading options, so not that one. So that's why I put that there, right? And I applied it, and then it added this line. But that wasn't where I entered. I set my entry right here because my stop was up here. So why the hell would it put this underlying position under here? I don't know what that is. Because that's not the entry. Let's show all. Okay. Mm. Yeah, that's not showing what we think we want it to show. Show studies, highlight studies, snap drawings to the tick, show price, subgraph. I don't need this floating data box. First in, first out principle. Huh? First in, first out principle. Let me take that off. I don't really understand what that means. Let's take that off. Let's apply that. Um, mm, price access, scale, price enable, log scale. That's just their parent stuff. And then futures, it's your entry point based on the two trades you took. Oh, see? Really? As I'm like messing around, like so if I'd only taken if I'd only left it at the one trade, it would show up here? Ah. It's lower since you took your first higher trade off. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I did take a second one here. Right. Okay, okay, okay. I did not understand that. That's funny. Anyway, let's speed this up because it's time for some num nums, and Mama's got to go hang out with her bestie. Let's push that forward. Okay, so we took the low. We're in here. I'm gonna take that off because that's not helping me at the moment. This underlying business. Oh, maybe once I start actually taking more trades, and I'll add it back in, and then I can like set my break even stop down there instead. Let's move this forward 10 minutes. You are not wrong. That is a good point. That is a very good point. Um, yeah, since we are testing, let's just do that. Let's close that puppy. All right, and then let's go back to 1109. Let's pause that and let's go back to 1109 just to see, and we can test that out. All right, so we wanted it, we were testing the brackets. That's unnecessary. Oh my God, did I do a buy again? Oh, I swear to God. What is happening? Let's get out of that. Oh, swear to God, I think I'm tired. There we go. That is much, much better. Okay, so let's put this let's play that. Let's turn this underlying on. Okay, and let's play. All right. So yeah, I probably should have just taken a new trade. Well, this is gonna pop up here and tag us in real quick, and then let's see. So what I'm finding is I don't like the way Thinkorswim handles partials and uh I know there's a way to, can we move this along? Come on. Oh, was this at a different, let's do that. Okay, did I go too fast? Damn it. Hold on. Let's let 11:14. There we go. Okay. Uh-huh. There it is. There's that position line. Okay, all right. I see what you're saying. I'm gonna leave that on because I actually want to know where the entry was. Because sometimes I have a general idea and I don't. Let's move this forward to 11:45. Let's see how this works out. We were looking for this guy. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. So then I would be quite easily capable. Oh my God, what just happened? What just happened? Why did it kick me out? What the heck is going on? I think it's time for me to stop. Ah, what was that? I moved the stop and closed the whole thing. What? I moved the stop here. Why would that close it? But anyway, that's a good trade too. But that's good to know. All right, so I will leave that on now that I can see it. And I think that's it for today, y'all. That low would have been perfectly fine too. We don't need that. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Jordy, Wolfie, Bob. Hey, I haven't seen Dogface this week. Did you run him off, Wolfie? Did you run him off? All right, guys. It's time for some brekkie. Time for me to go enjoy the rest of my Sunday. Please love everything. Go enjoy yours. Thanks for hanging out with me. And take away from today's session, I, again, take the trade with the number of micros you need to take. 2, 1, 3, it don't matter. Just take it. It'll still pay you. Anyway, have a great one. I will be in the office tomorrow, so there will be no pre-market anything until Tuesday because I cannot bring my trading laptop with me to work. And I do not trade on mobile, so mhm. All right, I'm gonna head out. Be safe, be good. Shakira. As you did, man. You did, Wolfie. You told him um cartoon picture. What cartoon picture? Did you drop something in the Discord? Is that my black? Is that me with my braids in the back? Can you spot the people in the background? Is that me? You think that's me? Oh. Oh, so Bob's got the glasses on in the back. And who's the other girl? Is that supposed to be Maya? I love it. This is cute. But I love the hair. I need to do my hair. My hair is kind of messy. All right, Wolfie. I'll talk to you on Discord. Jordy, Bob, I'll talk to you guys later. Oh, is the young guy supposed to be Thomas on the back, right? And then that's Bob. Why? Oh, and you're Wolfie. I am so silly. I just got that. This is awesome. This is awesome. You made yourself a wolf, and then the rest of us are just people. This is great. I love it. I'm just looking at it. All right, let me get out of here. This did you make that with AI again, Wolfie? That's really cool. That is really cool. Oh my God. We should make if Can Discord make like a background, like a proper background? I would love to make this a background for the Discord. That'd be so cool. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me get out of here. We can talk more on the Discord. All right, guys. Be safe. Be good. Shakira is out.